try to finish this chapter 28, and then on Wednesday and Friday we'll have chapter 29, the vertebrate. Okay, and then don't forget on this Friday, what your assignment 4 is due. And then on Monday, we'll have review, okay, for exam 4. And then on that day also, there will be quiz 5 over chapter 29. Okay, so this is just a reminder. Everybody have the schedule, okay? So we're gonna follow these schedules. So today, we will continue our lecture with this chapter 28, the invertebrate. We finished chapter 27, which is the diversity of the animals. If you still remember, how many phyla in the animal kingdom that we learned last time? How many of them? 14. Good job. 14 phylum. I'm gonna list that one first. So, kingdom Animalia. Okay, or Metazoa. Okay, so this is the last kingdom in the eukaryotic organism, right? The organism that have nucleus and organelle. Now, this kingdom, it has 14. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 phylum. Okay. So 14 phyla. What is the first one? SpongeBob. Porifera. Okay. So Porifera. Okay. The second phylums will be group of jellyfish. Cnidaria. Yeah, Cnidaria, which is radial symmetry with only 2 layers. Diploblastic. Stand up for next one.
I'll put that one second because it's been
Yeah, that's okay. So they all close relative. Both of them are radiata. Okay, so this is radiata, right? Okay. The other over here will be bilateria. Okay. And radiata also diploblastic. 2 layer, ecto and endo. Bilateria, they are mostly triploblastic. Ecto, meso, endoderm. Okay. And the top one over here gonna be parazoa. Okay, no tissue. And the rest over here will be metazoa. It has tissue on their body. Okay, so that's kind of summary, of this phylum that we learned. Now, number 3 is Ctenophora. Next will be the one that do not have coelom, okay, no body cavity, which is Asula, no body cavity. Okay, the rest then will have body cavity. Get it? Okay, now start with Rotifera. Rotifera is animal zooplanktons. They are small, mostly living in water. Plankton means the one that floating around in the water. And then Ectoprocta. And then we have Brachiopoda. Okay. And there is a worm that have flat body, gonna be Platyhelminthes. We're gonna learn, okay, later. Now it's just list. Platyhelminthes, okay, and then the ringworms, Annelida, okay, and then number 10, this is gonna be the snail and their friend, Mollusca. Okay, so Mollusca. You get this one? Hey, so this one, their mouth is coming from what? Blastophores. What do you call the animal that their mouth comes from blastophore? Protostome. Okay, so they are protostome. Okay. The two more over here, okay? That's also protostome, but different group, because this one is ecdysone, which is, we have the nematoda, roundworms, and then the one that we know a lot, the most abundant animal, which is in the phylum of Arthropoda, including insects in it. So they are protostome. Yeah.
We got Echinoderma
And then the last one, Deuterostome. Two of them. What? Which is spiny derm.
Echinoderma.
Echino. Okay, echino means spiny. Derm means skin or layers, outer layer. So Echinodermata. And then our phylum, which is the one that have Chorda dorsalis, is called the Chordata. Both of these are deuterostome, meaning that our anus is actually coming from the blastophore. Okay, so our anus is actually the first hole. Okay. Now, the chordata is divided into three subphylum. Urochordata. The second one is called the cephalo means head, cephalochordata. And the last one, it is vertebrata. Okay, so vertebrata is actually not a phylum, but it is subphylum of the chordata phylum. You get this one? Now, to make it easy to study them, because most of the time we deal with vertebrate, right? Most of the time we deal, many people deal with vertebrate. Therefore, for easy understanding, for learning, scientists also divided this group animal into two main groups. Get it? The first one is the one that do not have vertebrae. What do you call that? Remember, no mean A, what? So it's going to be A vertebrate. And the last group is only us. Only one group over here. which is the vertebrata, is in the group called the vertebrates, the one that has vertebrae, spinal cord. Spinal vertebrae. Okay. Now, backbone. Okay, so vertebrae, it has backbone, no backbone. Okay. So 90%, 97% is actually vertebrate. Only 3% animal are vertebrate. But again, because most of the time we deal with the vertebrate, to make it easy to understand them, we just divide them into two main groups, non-vertebrate or avertebrate, and yes, vertebrate. Okay?
Except
No backbone and backbone.
there are chordates that don't have backbones. There are chordates that don't have backbones.
Yeah, two of them are here.
Let me like,
It doesn't have backbone. They still have chorda dorsalis, but chorda dorsalis will not develop into bone. Therefore, they are still considered as non-vertebrate, no vertebrae. That's it. So that's the classification. Therefore, in our book, so this avertebrate, we learn it in one chapter, which is chapter 28. It will consist all of this animal, including this Urochordata and Cephalochordata. And then vertebrate will be in chapter 29. Okay, that's the reasons we have that chapter, vertebrate and invertebrate. Okay, so another name is invertebrate, vertebrate, invertebrate, non-vertebrate. So that's the classification that we use for this book. Okay, do you have question?
figure writing something on
I'm gonna erase that. But you wanna take a picture? Okay, now we're gonna use mostly PowerPoints, okay, for this lecture today. But I will also draw some picture over there to make sure you do understand the character, the shape, the structure, and the functions of structure in organism. Okay? Now, again, the invertebrates make up about 97% of all animal on Earth. Many of them aquatic, marine animal. Most of them marine animal. Like over here, most of them gonna be marine, including the chordata, urochordata, cephalochordata. Many of them are marine animals. Yeah. So we're gonna erase this. We're gonna start with the first phylum, which is Porifera. Okay, Porifera. Sponge. Again, this is here. The sponge. Pori. Pori means porous. So pori, porous, or hole. So from the name, this animal has many holes. Okay, it has many holes. So maybe they look like this. So they are asymmetry. Okay, so but they have bigger hole, and they have many smaller hole on their body. Okay, they can have two stages. The adult stage is called polyp. Polyp, it is adult stage, which is sessile or sessile. Sessile means stay, okay, on the bottom of the aquatic environment, in this case, marine environment. Right? They can also have the larva stage, which is florid, no? But majority, dominant generations, they are actually in the polyp stage. It means that the larva is only maybe several hours, something like that. They will boom, okay? They will grow into polyps. They will not stay longer. So polyp is dominant. Dominant stage. Okay? Dominant life cycle or stage on their life cycle. Now, if we cut this, let's say we cut this, one of this, right? Let's say, and maybe we have this kind of structure. Okay? So this is the big hole over here. Okay, gonna use the picture over here. Oh, that's SpongeBob. Okay, so the holes, the big holes, which is over here, yeah, is called the osculum. Okay, and then many small hole over here. If we cut like that, it's gonna be look like this. Okay, it's connected into the space over here. Okay, so each of these hole, right, is called the ostium. Ostium. If it is many, then it's going to be ostia. Ostia means many, ostium. Okay, you get this one first? No. The space inside this animal, it is not really cavity. You know? They don't have body cavity. Okay, this is just a space. It's called the sponge. Okay, spongiosole. Sponge sole. Okay, cavity of the sponge. Got it? Okay. So the water is actually coming from ostium. So this is the water enter into the ostium and leaving enter into the spongiole and leaving into the from the osculum. You get this one first? Okay. So that water will carry a lot of nutrients. They're gonna filter that nutrients. You with me? Now, the question is how this water enter into the spongiole. Okay? How this enter into the spongiole? How? Here, this is the one that make connection between the squamoflagellate and this animal. Remember, this animal, okay, believed to evolve from the squamoflagellate. So squamoflagellate is the ancestor of animal. Okay, this is a common ancestor of animals. Squamoflagellate, right? This is how it looks like. It's developed into animals. And the most primitive animal in this case is Porifera, which is the sponge. Now, over here, inside layer, is actually consists of cell that look like this, look like a squamoflagellate. Get it? So the cell is look like a squamoflagellate. It has flagella. Okay, so this one will be a lot of cell with flagella here. Okay, you follow this? Hey, that's the first type of cell in this animal. They don't have tissue, so we cannot say this is a tissue, epithelial tissue, whatever, but they're just a group of cells without, making a tissue, without making a special group that work together. They're just a cell, layer of cell. So this first cell over here, okay, so going to be types of cells in sponge. The first one, this one, the one that have flagella, look like a choanoflagellate. The name is going to be the same, but use site. So site mean cell. Okay, like in our cell, we have osteocyte. Osteo mean bone. It means a bone cell. We have myocyte. Myo mean muscle. So muscle cell. Get this one? Okay. Now, this first one is called choanocyte. This is the first type of cells in the sponge. Choanocyte, which is coming from the choanoflagellate. Are you with me? Now, this flagella is actually always performing like a swimming, like that. Make what we call the water, the current, water will be entering here because it's always. Okay, anybody swimmer here? You use your hand for swimming. Right? The same thing with this one. Okay, so the water will be here, enter here, and then out there. Because of this movement, the flagella movement of the choanocyte. Are you with me? So the choanocyte make a movement of the flagella. At the same time, choanocyte will also filter the nutrient. So the nutrients will be entering into this part of the organism. Okay? Filtered by the choanocyte. So choanocytes do the movement, making the water to enter into the spongiosol, and also do the filtration. Are you with me? Now, when it is filtered, then the cell, there is another cell that will be taking that nutrient and carrying it into other cell. Therefore, this cell should be able to move. Get it? This cell is able to move inside the body of this sponge and move with pseudopod. You still remember there are protozoa that move with the pseudopod, fake food. What do you call them? Amoeba. Therefore, this one also going to be the same name. Okay, amoebocyte. Okay, that's the name of the cell. So this is first cell. This is going to be second cell. Okay, amoebocyte. Cell that move, carry the nutrients, feeding other cell. Are you with me? That's sponge. Now, there is another cell that make the outside layer of this sponge. Okay, so gonna get number 3 over here. Cell number 3 making the outside layer of the cell. It's called the pinacocyte. So number 3 will be pinacocyte, making the outer layer of this animal. So the outer layer over here, right? That's mostly covered by pinacocyte. You get it? It's yellow in color. That's the reason why SpongeBob is yellow. They are yellow. Square pen. Now, look at this hole, right? The hole making channel, right? Channel enter into the spongiosol. Are you with me? That channel will have another type of cell that making that channel. We're gonna call this cell number 4. Get it? So that cell create the channel for the ostium, right? Making the hole, pore. Therefore, name what? Porocyte. The whole cell, the pore site. Porocyte. So sometimes scientific term, name in biology is telling you what is the function or where it is located. Okay, so this one telling you this is making a pore, the one that lining the pore. Therefore, it's called the porocyte. That's number 4. Okay, inside over here, okay, there is also cell that able to produce chemicals. If you see sponge, why sponge is used for cleaning the dishes? Anybody know why? It is smooth or not? It is not smooth. It is rigid a little bit. Therefore, you can use it to clean the dishes or clean yourself. Okay, for taking a bath, you can use also sponge. Why? Because there is a cell that produce what we call the silica. Silica. So many sands on the marine, on the beach, is actually made of silica. It's a little bit rough, right? So there is a group of cells that produce the silica, which is this one over here. It's called the sclerocyte. So sclerocyte, let's say we're gonna put it here. They produce silica. Rigid materials or solid material. So this number 5 cell is called the sclerocyte. Produce the silica. Okay, make that body is rough. Number 6. Remember, this animal have larvae. What? Larva is actually development from zygote. What? So zygote is actually what? Fertilization of eggs by the sperm. You can follow it, right? Therefore, this animal has cell that able to produce the eggs and also produce the sperm at the same time. Okay, so it means that this animal is. Have you ever heard term like hermaphrodite or hermaphrodite? This is animal that has both male and female organs in it. It means that they can produce sperm and eggs at the same time. Okay, so they are hermaphrodite. Okay, so this means that there is a cell, let's say over here, that produce the eggs. So we're gonna put number 6 over here. That cell is called the oocyte. Oo means eggs, ovum, coming from ovum, egg. The cell that produces egg is called the oocyte. You get it? And there is another cell, let's say you're gonna put number 7 over here, that produce the sperm. It will produce the sperm. This one produce the eggs, and the sperm fertilize the eggs, become larva. And larva for several hours will be in the water, and then poop, they will go to the ground, to the bottom of the ocean to grow into this polyp, into adult. So the cell that produces sperm is going to be called spermatocyte. Okay? Get it? Now, last one. If you play with the sponge, what? It's not only rough, but also when you push it, when you you do like this, okay? And then when you take it out your hand, what happened with this? What happened with the sponge shape? It is stay wrinkle or going back? Going back, because there is a gel on it, right? This is a gel. So there will be cell that produce gel. It's going to be number 8. That cell is called the lymphocyte. So lymphocyte. It will produce materials, collagen. So collagen is jelly-like structure. It's a little bit strong. Strong. Like in our bone, we have collagen, a lot of collagen fiber. So this animal also produce collagen that make it a little bit strong. Okay? Okay. Do you have questions so far? So that's the sponge. So make sure you are able to name these 8 cells plus their function. It's not that difficult, I hope, especially if you study again at home before the exam. Okay, so that's the sponge body. Now we'll continue with the next phylum, which is Cnidaria. This also have polyps and the larvae stages. Okay, they can have asexual and also sexual reproduction. Okay, there are 4. This is how it look like. This is just the structure of Cnidaria. They have the ability to produce thread, just like, thread-like structure with the barb. Barb is a structure that can be out and into the cell. Okay, so that's the barb structure. Okay. So they have 2 stages again. It's going to be adult stage. It's called the polyp. It will stay on the bottom of the ocean. It will create coral. And the medusa stage, which is the young stage. For us, it's called baby, okay, but for them, it's called medusa. So polyp and medusa, 2 stages of their life. Now, there are 4 classes in this phylum. The first one is called the Anthozoa. You still remember Anthophyta? The last phylum of plant. What does Anthophyta mean? Angiosperm, which is what? Flower. Antho means flower, actually, right? So Anthozoa. But this is zoo. Animal flower. That's the name coming from. Animal flower. It means that if you go down on the ocean, do snorkeling, you're going to see this. Beautiful. Look like flower. This is actually mostly Anthozoa. Anthozoa will create the coral. So coral animals, they are Anthozoa. Different color, blue, yellow, red. And then the second one, so Anthozoa, for the Anthozoa, polyp is dominant. Their polyp is dominant. Their medusa is not dominant. So mostly they are in the polyp stage. That's for the Anthozoa. You follow this? The second class, which is the Scyphozoa, this one have the medusa dominant. Their medusa is dominant. Polyp is not dominant. So most of the time you will see them as a medusa. What is the example for this one? The jellyfish. Okay, jellyfish is in the class of Scyphozoa. Right? Jellyfish. Okay, many of them also big, many smaller. They have different groups. And then the next one is cube. What does cube mean? Box. Cube is box, right? Cube. Therefore, this is for box jelly. Cubozoa. The name of the animal, box jelly. They are very small. This is medusa of the Scyphozoa, but the box jelly is like this. Small, really, really small. And they can sting you. I get that one. Okay, when I went snorkeling in one ocean, they usually like not really in the coral area. They like in the sandy beach. What? I snorkeling and then so many go to my. It sting just like somebody put fire on your skin. So it's itchy, but like
Yes, under.
yeah, you guys. But for some people, gladly I am not allergic. What? For some people that are allergic, they are very dangerous. It can causing bubbling on your skin or maybe even kill someone. Right? So they have that ability. They produce chemical that sting you. Right? So it's cube, okay? Cubozoa. And the last one is hydrozoa. Hydrozoa, example is hydra. And I also play with this animal. It look like this. It look like a jellyfish, but it look like submarine actually. It's a blue clear color.
I wouldn't call it it. I'll call it that.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, man. So therefore, they have special name. It's called the Portuguese man of war. That's the name actually. Because what? It look like submarine used for fighting or war. It's actually really, really, really beautiful because it's very clear like a balloon, but with a bluish color. You can see clearly inside their body. Nothing actually inside their body. Because most of their part of their body is over here. So they have sting, they have nematocyst over here. So nematocyst is a structure that produce that poison chemical that can sting you. So that's group of Cnidaria. Again, this is the coral. Many of them also create what we call the sea anemones. This is where the Nemo stay with his dad, what? Marlin. They stay in the sea anemones. It's very beautiful. Anybody watch the Nemo? I like a cartoon movie. This is the jellyfish. And Nemo play with them also. Boing, boing, boing with Dory. Boing, boing. Okay, so the one that watched the Nemo movie know it, what I'm talking about. But if you don't watch it, you don't know. So they're racing, going to, because this one is not, it is okay, it is not poison, but if you get sting over here from the nematocyst, then that marlin or Nemo maybe die. So actually, what Nemo friend? Dory gets sting, right? Okay, so again, I mentioned about nematocyst. This is a structure that will produce that poison, and then using tentacle to sting the animals. They do that because what? That's the way they get the food. They sting the animal, especially small fish, and then after that they will absorb the nutrient from that animal. This is cubozoa. It's very small, small jellyfish, but sting, hurt, danger. It's a danger. Don't swim. But I did swim. No, but there is no, there is, at that time there is no Indonesia. I swim in Indonesia, not here. In Indonesia, we don't have that kind of sign, whether danger or not. Okay? You have your own risk. There is no warning. Like over here, sometimes there is a warning. If there is shark, for example, okay, warning, there is shark. But Indonesia, no. You swim with your own risk, whether there is a shark or not. Okay? This is the man of war. Portuguese man of war. It looks like a submarine. It's a bluish color and it's very like a balloon, but actually very, very beautiful. You can hold it. It's okay. It's not really sting you. For you, it's no problem. Okay, so we can hold it and then say, "Whoa, play with that one." All right. This is the comb jelly. Most of the time, they have the ability to produce light or fluorescence color under the dark water. That's Ctenophora, okay? The second phylum for this group, okay? Cnidaria and Ctenophora. The next one is Platyhelminthes. So Platyhelminthes, it has 3 classes. This is a Platyhelminthes. Yeah, it has 3 classes. This is flatworm. Right? I see all of them. Anybody have seen of them? So planaria over there, it has like an eye spot, and also it just look like a head. And then the rest gonna be just like a worm. They live in water, fresh water, and they only live in the clean fresh water. Right? So that's Platyhelminthes, which is the first group, planaria. This is the second group, fluke. Most of the time parasite. That is called the Chinese lung fluke. Can infect our lungs. Right? And this one, maybe you know, tapeworm. Right? So whether coming from the pork or from the beef, if you enter into your body, into your intestine, then it will take your nutrient. They stay there. They're holding into your GI tract, into your gut. That's a tapeworm. They're also flat. So these are classes for the Platyhelminthes. Mollusca. Mollusca, this is group of animal that have soft body. Therefore, they have to produce material that protect their body. That material will be very hard. Very hard. Consists of calcium carbonate. Okay. There are 4 classes for this one. Polyplacopora. This is marine animal. You can also find them on the beach. Have a lot of protection over here. Calcium carbonate. Gastropoda. Gaster mean belly. Pod mean food. It means that they work with the belly. So that's snail. Gastropoda. Bivalvia is mean that it has 2 protection. 2 protection. And then cephalopoda. Cephalo mean head. Poda mean food. Food. This means that their food is on the head. Example what? SpongeBob friend, what is his name? Mr. Squidward. Okay, squid. Squidward, squid. Octopus. Nautilus. That's cephalopoda. This is Annelida. If you see that, it consists of ring. Therefore, it's called the Annelida. Annulus means ring. It has rings. So their body consists of many rings. Annelida. Earthworm, example. There are actually 3 classes for this Annelida. Okay. Oligocyta, Hirudinea, and the Polycyta. The Oligocyta is the earthworm. The Hirudinea is leeches. Anybody have leeches? If you go with me to Costa Rica, you will get it in your leg because it's like to take our blood, suck our blood. Usually we bring tobacco. Not using it, but to make sure it, will you put tobacco on them with the water, they will. You remember tobacco is what? Alkaloid or flavonoid? What is tobacco? I mean, in the tobacco, it has material. It's called what? Alkaloid. What is the name of the chemical? Nicotine. So that nicotine actually will make the leeches say, I don't like it. And then you're gonna, but you like it. Some people like it. Okay, use it. So that's the Hirudinea. And Polycyta, this is Annelida that live in ocean. They have a lot of saita. Saita means it's a short legs. If you take a earthworm, for example, at the bottom of the earthworm is actually not smooth. You're gonna feel some bristle on it. That's actually saita. That's saita. There's a leg, small short leg. Okay. The next one is nematoda. This is just several examples. So nematoda is round worm. The worm is round, and many of them parasite. If you have dog, sometimes you have this one also. But some people also have it. I still, already, I still remember my